Hi, folks. Welcome to this week's episode of Real Talk NOLA. I'm your host, Tonto. This is my sidekick, the Lone Ranger. And this week we have...
Lone Ranger is not the sidekick. Tonto is the sidekick.
Which one is Johnny Depp playing?
Tonto.
Yo.
Akane yute, keosu, makia, no taiga, utiae.
Why are you talking to that horse? Why am I covered in dirt?
I buried you.
Why am I alive?
Eight men rode into canyon. I dug 7 graves. Horse says you are a spirit walker. A man who has been to the other side and returned. A man who cannot be killed in battle. Something very wrong with that horse.
If we ride together, we ride for justice.
Justice is what I seek, Kimosabe. People think you are dead. Better to stay that way.
You want me to wear a mask?
There'll come a time when good man must wear mask.
All right. Let's do this.
All right, that was Lone Ranger. And
Lone Ranger being played by Armie Hammer.
And this is, I just want to throw this out there first. This is Disney, right?
Yes.
Disney has their hands on it.
Jerry Bruckheimer.
Says,
Working with Disney.
Which
Again.
scares me. I would say, whenever Disney has their finger in a pie, it scares me.
Yeah.
Because Marvel Studios was doing just fine until Disney bought them up. Then, like, Avengers were like the only saving grace on the entire series. But anyway, besides that fact, you got Armie Hammer from The Social Network. He played the twins, which I actually, if you didn't know he was not a set of twins,
Yeah,
you're not alone.
Yeah,
all right?
I so thought, oh, that's twins right there.
He was also
You were like, how did they get
opposite Leo DiCaprio and J. Edgar.
Right, J. Edgar.
He's got chops.
Yes.
No one's doubting that, and he actually had other careers laid out before him. From what I understand of his backstory, he chose acting, and it was actually kind of against his family's wishes, but he actually made a success of himself.
Yeah.
I actually, after hearing he was Lone Ranger, had a little bit more hope for the movie. And then, let's talk about the producers first and the writers. We have Gore.
Well, first of all, Jerry Bruckheimer being a producer.
Yeah.
And we got Gore Verbinski, who was the director of Pirates 1, 2, and 3.
Which is what I wanted to bring up.
And we got the writer from Pirates of the Caribbean,
one,
Ted
two,
Elliott.
three.
Yeah.
All right. So, that being said, Johnny Depp's in the movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we have the team that showed up for Pirates 1, I will love this movie.
Yeah.
Because Curse of the Black Pearl was just completely took me by surprise. I was like, how are they going to make a Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
Yeah, it's freaking.
Apparently,
amusement park ride.
I need to shut up, is what the end of that sentence was. Because that was really good. Like the whole thing with Jack going back and forth, and like, you know, they were kind of focusing on Orlando Bloom's whole character, but like at the same time, you know, you had Jack Sparrow.
I think that's how this movie's going to play out the same way. They're going to try to focus on the Ranger, but
But
Tonto's
are
gonna be
they?
there.
Because then we had that giant shift where Johnny Depp blew up more than anything. Like, he was a star before, but Pirates of the Caribbean just made him like, it put him in that upper echelon.
The household name.
Yeah, like, well, not only that. I think he was a household name before, like, because he was like, you know, one of the attractive people, and like, he was all these famous movies, you know, Edward Scissorhands, stuff like that. But before, he was like kind of like the goth type dude.
Yeah, the art guy, the art character.
Now he was just like action hero, and then 2, 3, and 4 suffered for it in the series, and even somewhat like his portrayal in 21 Jump Street, you know, is kind of off offbeat, but still kind of weird and silly.
The show,
That's
not
enough
the
of
movie.
Johnny Depp. But anyway,
The show, not the movie.
But anyway, my fear of that was that Johnny Depp is going to dominate this movie again, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I think if you're gonna have him play a supporting character, have him play a supporting character. It is not without precedent.
Right.
Like the thing that I always think of is Edward G. Robinson in Double Indemnity. At that point, he had only been a main actor, and they had a tough time selling him on the thing. He sells that movie. Oh my God, it's so great. Sometimes when a lead actor takes a supporting role, they make the movie that much better.
Well, I mean, I would kind of make a nod to Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. He's in basically a supporting role character, but he dominates
The movie.
and he helps carry it almost.
He adds an extra thread to the movie.
Right.
It creates a universe rather than just having this one story.
Right.
That being said, the story seems to me like a weird mix of like this whole Zorro type thing where we're updating it. We're including some of the Civil War mentality. The country's changing. Right. We're becoming the master of our own destiny, manifest destiny, driving out west. And not only that, raw, unconquered land. And not only that, and people going, we're going to found an empire on this. We're going to make our own rules. And then there's the few and lonesome soldiers who go, no, law still applies out here.
Right.
And that's what the Lone Ranger's meant to represent.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for this movie at all. I'm very scared because you just like, there's a couple of things on their own I could let slide if they were just on their own. But it's like Disney's got their hands on it. Jerry Bruckheimer's part of it. The whole thing with the later Pirates movie, the fact that they are probably going to be Johnny Depp heavy, that he's got the weird face paint. It's not just a traditional Indian. And like he seems to be playing it over the top with the Keemosabis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, the Tornado seems like this really weird character. Like, you know, the horse is actually even like a weirdness.
The horse is almost another comedic element.
Yeah, it's a prop. It's a stage prop.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, but like the whole thing of like creating this mythological thing about the Lone Ranger, where in one of the trailers they actually make mention Johnny Depp's character is some type of horse whisperer. And he says, the horse says you are a man who cannot die in battle.
Right. He's brought back to life. And
yeah, it's like you've been to the other world and come back. It's like very Ghost Rider and Zorro
Jonah
at the same
Hex,
time. And I'm just like, what are you doing to this? I was like, wasn't it enough that it was just one guy riding out alone? He goes, you know, the good men have to wear masks sometimes because this is the West, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you have to stay hidden. This is very much that Zorro mentality, except, you know, with American Wild West instead of the Spanish conquistador type stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you wrap up and get in a few of the stuff that you want to talk about, and then we'll go to reviews.
Yeah, so I think, how do I put this? I think that's one of the biggest flaws is that Johnny Depp will be so focused on when he does need to almost take a back seat, you know? And Johnny Depp, if you're listening, could you please stop playing such weird character types? Can you come into a movie and just play like a normal person for once? Can you show how great of an actor you are by playing
without
normal?
makeup?
Right. Do you have to play such an over-top character?
I'm the Mad Hatter. I'm Edward Scissorhands.
Right. Yeah, can you just play like a regular character? No, you can't, because what was that movie with Angelina Jolie and you?
The Tourist.
The Tourist. You played a regular guy there, and you didn't do so well. But that was also a bad script. So.
Well, it was an update of the bad script.
Yeah,
so.
updated bad script. Armie Hammer, really looking forward to because he's kind of a rising star. But the only thing I'm wondering is he's not doing movies very back to back, so he's not going to become a household name if he doesn't kind of update it.
Well, that's another reason too, is because they didn't pick a name. This is no offense to Armie Hammer, but he's not at Johnny Depp's level. Right. So to have the side character be Johnny Depp, and then like again, but the illusion I think of again goes back to Double Indemnity, because at that time Fred McMurphy was a no one.
Yeah.
And you have Edward G. Robinson, who's a star.
Yeah.
And what do? They switched him up.
Yeah.
And that helped the story more than anything. There is a precedent for this. However, I don't think this movie's Double Indemnity.
No, but another thing is, since it does have that Pirates of the Caribbean kind of team behind it, I think there's going to be a lot of action mixed with a lot of comedy. And I think that's going to play very well. I just hope that if this movie does really well, which I think it will, that if they do sequels, that they don't make the same mistakes they did with the pirate sequels. You know, that they hold on to that original, the original movie.
I don't think we have to worry about sequels with this.
You
But
don't
on
think
that
so?
note, I'm going to go to my review. I am going to say DVD this because I love Westerns. Love them. I
don't
can't
think
get
this is a Western, though.
That's the thing. It takes place in the West, but it's not a Western.
No.
But the Lone Ranger is supposed to be the embodiment of all the good stuff about Westerns.
Right.
However, I will acknowledge for some reimagination and stuff like that, and also this kind of mythos and like this whole idea of like man create. essential thing of the Western is man being in control of his own destiny.
Right, because you
and
can
that's
go out
very
there,
much what the Lone Ranger's about.
stake your land, yeah.
Precisely, and not only that, but like the willingness of a good man to sacrifice himself to cancel out evil. That is Lone Ranger right there, man.
Yeah, but
I don't think this movie's going to embody that. And that's why I say matinee, because I could be wrong. They could just be trying to sell the Johnny Depp angle. For all I know, that's all of Johnny Depp's scenes.
yeah,
You know, maybe they're saying, get the butts into seats. They'll enjoy the movie, but for right now, we're selling Johnny Depp.
that you know, because that's
So
what it's all about.
that's where I have the hope for. My initial instinct is to go flat out TV. I'm bumping it to DVD in case I'm very wrong. But given the trailers that we've seen, which is what we have to go on this show,
And I'm going to go
DVD.
with matinee because I think even if Johnny
you
Depp's
always have to one-up me.
no, because I think even if Johnny Depp's character is the predominant, I still think it's going to be a really good movie. It's going to be fun. It may not be something you enjoy on multiple viewings, but I think first viewing it'll be great out the door and fun to watch, but maybe not something you'll want to DVD later.
Fair enough.
You know. But anyway, that's it. We're back.